Hello and welcome to Rev Sports. I am Gargi Raut, your host, and joining me today for this conversation are G. Rajaraman, Ishan Shahane, and Shomik Chakrabarti. Among rumors of Jasprit Bumrah being rested and now news breaking of him not having travelled with the team to Ranchi, and also questions surrounding KL Rahul's availability. And of course, we're also building up to the second edition of the Women's Premier League, which is starting soon. We have a lot to discuss among all of that. First of all, going to you, Raja, going over to the India versus England series, India has now taken the lead with all these rumors, and now, of course, him not having traveled to Ranchi. Bumrah being rested for the fourth test match seems very, very likely. Do you think it would be a good call considering this series is very important for India?
I don't think it's a great idea, Gargi. We've discussed this before. The series is still alive. Okay, India has not won the series yet. I can imagine if Mohammad Shami were available and you're rotating Siraj, Shami, and Bumrah, but Shami is not available, so I would still play Bumrah in that Test match. He bowled just 23 overs in the last Test match that India won. Now, with an England batting that is brittle, you may not need him, but his presence can instill fear among the England batters, and especially on a dead track where the ball is not doing anything off the track. He won a test match like that in Vishakhapatnam. I think it's important for him to play. I don't think it's a great idea to think of resting him, but he knows his body best. And I think the BCCI medical team and the team management will understand what is most important for the side rather than just think only about workload management. He can be rested after this. If India wins the it secures a third victory in the series, it can then rest Bumrah. I think it's important to play him in this match.
Ishan, you can replace Jasprit Bumrah with another player, but you cannot replace his lethal bowling, can you?
No, absolutely not, Gagi. I mentioned it earlier in the day as well that Bumrah not being in the squad will really hurt the Indians because he's that player who really brings that X factor. And I think I would agree with Raja here. I think if he had to be rested, he should have been rested in the next Test match, not the upcoming one, because India still could have possibly sealed victory in this fourth Test match and then possibly rested Bumrah for the fifth and final one. But they haven't done that. Obviously, he might be needing it, but I think they will really miss him. And, I don't think there's anybody like Bumrah at the moment in the Indian setup. So Jasprit Bumrah not playing will really, really hurt the Indians. But we can only hope that the other bowlers can possibly learn something from him and, go out there and give their best job.
Shomik, do you think India may recall Mukesh Kumar after his Ranji League match where he picked his best figures of 10 for 50 at the Eden Gardens? All of this, of course, considering that Bumrah will not later come to Ranchi and join the team.
See, just before coming to this recording, I'm sorry. Just before coming to this recording, I was having a conversation with some sources at the Jharkhand State Cricket Association, and someone told me that the team has arrived and he hasn't seen Bumrah.
Yes,
So as
Bumrah
of
is not.
and he also confirmed that the chances of him to be with the squad is not very high. That's what he said.
Mm.
Another thing he told me that the pitch for the fourth test is going to be pretty batting friendly, something like we saw in Rajkot as well. Maybe the ball will take turn in the last 2 days. The first 3 days it will play beautifully for batting. That's as per his assumption. Now coming to Bumrah's factor, he is one player. He first of all, Jasprit Bumrah is irreplaceable. You can replace Virat Kohli, but you cannot replace Jasprit Bumrah. Simple as that. Then again, the fact of the matter is that he is someone who needs to be wrapped in a cotton wool. And Bumrah just came back. I mean, he was sidelined for 11 months due to lower back stress. So, from that point of view, he has bowled more than 80 overs in the series and in this heat. So, you have to take everything into account. Bumrah is the best judge of his body. Um, so, I mean, whatever the decision that would be taken in consultation with Bumrah, of course, Bumrah wants to play all five tests, but then the team management will have to keep an eye on his workload. And in the cooler climes of Dharamshala, maybe after a longer break, he will be back. Maybe as things stand now, it might change tomorrow. Now, coming back to who might be in place if Bumrah doesn't play. Logically, Mukesh Kumar, he played the second test. He was released to play the Ranji Trophy when Siraj came back. But I think Mukesh Kumar will be back in the side. And if Bumrah doesn't play ahead of Akashdeep, he will partner Siraj with the new ball. That will take a bit of sting out of Indian fast bowling because Mukesh Kumar is basically a line length 130 to 133k bowler. But what to do? That's the way it is.
And Raja, do you think India may go with one extra spinner in place of Bumrah since the match is in Ranchi? I know Shomik said that it could be a sporting wicket, but Ranchi is known for its spin.
Now, I think three good spinners, Kuldeep, Ashwin, and Jadeja, are good enough for this England batting lineup, particularly if they continue to play the baseball that they so like. Actually, a friend of mine called it Bass Fall. Uh, so I think the three spinners are good enough. You won't need an Akshar Patel to join the lineup. As it is, you got to see Rohit Sharma where he has got five bowlers. He's typically underbowled one. I don't think it would be a great idea to pack the side with just spinners because this is not a spin-friendly track. That from what Shamik tells us, this is not entirely a spin-friendly track. You want the batters, you want the balance in the lineup. I think it will be a good idea to have two seam bowlers, if not really express fast bowlers, at least two seam bowlers who can try and hit the deck and get the ball to do something off the track.
Yes, and Ishan, Rohit Sharma in a press conference said that KL Rahul also seems good. With his return, who makes way, Sarfaraz or Rajat Patidar?
I think that's an obvious answer there, Gagi. I think Rajat will have to make way because Sarfraz has just been exceptional. So unfortunately, Rajat Patidar, who a lot has been spoken about him, and he's extremely talented, but somehow couldn't manage capitalizing. Not saying that he's not a good player. I'm sure he'll get another opportunity in the future. But KL Rahul's coming in, so Patidar has to make way. And I think a lot of expectations will be on KL Rahul as well to continue on with his good form. He seemed pretty good in the previous test matches he played. So all of us also hoping that he can press on from that and continue. But Rajat will make way. And it's disappointing to see that Gagi because I think he was the first option instead of Sarfraz initially. But Sarfraz came in and made the most out of his opportunity. So that just shows that when there's so much competition in that Indian squad, in that Indian batting lineup, you really have to go out there and make the most of every single opportunity you get. So I think Sarfraz has done that, and Rajat will not be playing in the fourth test match.
Shomik, do you think Rajat has had enough chances? Or would you want to stick with him for a bit
No,
much?
you can't say he has enough chances. He just played two test matches. Yeah, he got out to two poor shots in Rajkot. That's fine. But then when a better player is coming, he will have to make way. You can't drop Sarfraz after the impression he made in Rajkot, scoring half centuries in both innings. And he was one player who looked completely at ease, dominating spin. The way he played spin, it was fabulous. So you can't drop Sarfraz after such an impressive debut. So when KL Rahul is coming back, he becomes an automatic pick. He walks into the middle order. So who will make way for him? It has to be. Even if I think Rajat Patidar would have scored 30 or 40, when Rahul is back, we will have to make way for him. So that's the way it is. Uh, it would be hard to say that he has enough chances, but there was an opportunity. He wasted his opportunity, and the competition in Indian cricket. I don't know when he is going to get another opportunity.
Yes, and Raja, your thoughts, Sarfaraz or Rajat, who makes way?
Now, I think, like both of our colleagues have said, it has got to be Sarfraz who plays and Rajat Patidar who goes out. Unfortunately for him, couple of chances that he got in the two test matches, he hasn't been able to build on that. And Sarfraz looked the part. He looked hungry. He looked the part. He showed the intensity and the intent that is necessary at this level, Gargi. Not that Rajat did not. Too bad for him that he was not able to make the most of the opportunities. He's a class batsman. We all know that. But it's very important to back Sarfraz at this point of time. He's got those two half centuries, played according to the need of the team and the need of the hour. He showed an understanding of the situation, and he played according to what the team needed. Look at the two innings, both were contrasting. He came in the second and scored pretty quickly, and in the first, he batted so well that I think he's made a very strong impression. Rajat unfortunately loses out on that count as well. Both are classy batters. Both have got plenty of runs behind them in domestic cricket. Unlike Ajinkya Rahane, who came to the test scene with 4,000 runs, Rajat Patidar has not been able to make that impression. At this point of time, because Rahul comes back, it will be very clearly Sarfraz playing this test match and Rajat sitting out. I don't think it's going to be doing any great justice to leave Sarfraz out at this point of time.
And we're also building up to the second edition of the Women's Premier League, which starts in Bangalore on the 23rd of February. It's promised to be bigger than ever. This time around, the tournament will be played in two venues, Bangalore and Delhi. Rev Sports will be in Bangalore as well as in Delhi covering the tournament, and we'll bring you all the live updates from the ground, so don't you guys worry about that. But Ishan, last year we saw MI and DC battling it out in the finals, both very strong teams. This year around, after the auction, who do you think is the favorite going into this tournament?
I think MI and DC are they seem like the two strongest teams even now, Gagi. The other teams as well seem really strong, but when I look at the MI squad, they seem to have a great balance. They have someone like Jemima Rodriguez in the squad, who's a prodigy, who's doing really well. She's one for the future, and even Shafali Verma. Now, Shafali Verma maybe has not been in the best of forms, but the T20 league is the kind of game she likes playing the best. So a lot will be expected out of her. They also have Annabelle Sutherland, and we saw how dangerous she could be for the Australian side. She's someone who can bowl and also, hit the ball a long way. So that team's looking really, really strong. And when you look at the Mumbai Indians team as well, Harmanpreet Kaur, a lot of controversy around her. So this is an opportunity for her to go out there and perform and, possibly set the thing, set the tone right. Because while playing for India, she couldn't really put her best foot forward. There's a lot of pressure on her. So now this league provides her with that opportunity to lead the side and possibly do well yet again. So it's going to be a really interesting competition because there's a lot of upcoming talent, and I think it provides a platform for the youngsters, for all the young girls out there to also go out there and showcase their talent. So definitely at the moment, Delhi and Mumbai seem like the stronger sides because of the balance they have. But having said that, there are a lot of other teams as well who seem to have a pretty good mix of players. So it's going to be really interesting to see which team actually ends up, doing well.
And Raja, I've been scrolling through social media for the past few days, ever since the tickets were released, and it seems like there's more demands than tickets. So far, only a few stands have been up for grabs, and they're getting sold out very quickly. Another interesting aspect here is that there are no seats being assigned. What do you make out of all of this?
I think we need to get a bit more professional as far as the Women's Premier League is concerned. If there is interest, why don't we stoke the interest a little bit more? Why don't we serve the fans? At the end of the day, Gargi, it's all about the players and it's all about the fans. Without the fans, there is no sport. And I think we must show a lot more respect to the fans by assigning them seats. If I bought a ticket, I don't have to rush there early enough to get a good view of the game. I should be able to walk in when just before the game start and find my seat. I think that's the amount of professionalism that is called for. Also, the fact that not enough tickets are being sold, it does hurt Gargi. It does hurt the fans, primarily because there is interest building up. You've chosen two venues, and at both venues, if you don't make all the tickets available all the time, it becomes difficult for the fans, and the amount of interest will dip. And I don't think that's going to help the game at all. We don't want to be just ticking the boxes saying that did we have a WPL this year? And the answer is yes. Did we have people in the stand? The answer is yes. But we need more people. We need more people to follow women's cricket, me included in that. That can happen if the board steps up and creates a little bit more buzz. Uh, you were telling me a short while ago, Gargi, that there is no buzz in Bengaluru around the stadium where the tournament is going to be held. If you don't market the tournament, if you don't build up the buzz, where are the fans going to come from? And without the fans, there is no sport really.
Although a bit of credit goes to BCCI because I checked the tickets as well, and the highest amount, all the tickets are for 100 rupees. So I think that's a great initiative from BCCI too to make all the tickets affordable as well. And final question to you, Shomik. This year at the auction, we saw young talents like Vrinda Dinesh and Kashvi Gautam going for big bucks, both uncapped, both very, very young. Are you excited to see them? And also, ponder upon how many opportunities WPL is bringing young women's cricketers with the amount of financial backing that they're getting now.
It is fantastic, and absolutely all the youngsters who fetch big bucks at the auction. I mean, it's great that people are spending for women's cricket. That means it is gaining in importance. And see, we had the women's Big Bash League. Now, since last year, the WPL has come, and gradually WPL and all the top stars in the world are dropping in to play in the tournament. And even WPL is the reason why, when earlier this year Ishan covered that T20s, India playing those T20s, and we saw fantastic turnouts at the venue. So this time also in the at the venues you will be there, and I'm sure you'll see pretty decent turnouts. And this is a very motivating factor for all the players, especially for the youngsters. There was a time when nobody followed women's cricket. Now people are watching, following women's cricket, and this is a huge motivation to do well. Earn their badges and earn even more.
Yes. Well, that wraps up our conversation. We'll keep having these discussions and we'll be back soon with another live show. But till then, stay tuned to Rev